All right, welcome to the Goddess Effect podcast. I am Kim Velez, your host, and yes, I have changed the name. I'm changing a lot of things, as you guys can see in my business, because I am leveling the fuck up. And I just felt like the name Secure Girl, even though it's cute, it's not, I don't know, wasn't me really, and it served its purpose. And now we have graduated from Secure Girl into the Goddess Effect. Because honestly, a lot of my work, in addition to coaching and supporting people, reprogramming their self-concept when it comes to love and manifesting an ex or a specific person into their life, is deeper than that, right? That's just like kind of the cherry on top, the icing on the cake. It's really about undoing layers of preconditioning or pre-programming that has kept you not being your goddess self, that has really brainwashed you into dimming your own light, into not shining as you fucking should. And I am here to support any woman and men. Dominantly, my audience is women, but I don't like to not acknowledge the men because I definitely help men as well. But, this is why a lot of my content is geared towards, I say goddess and very female, women terms, because most of my audience is women. So I am open to anyone. Any pronoun that you use, you are definitely welcome in my realm. I would love to, connect with everyone and help whoever I can possibly help. So having said that, I'm really excited for today's podcast. As you see, we're actually video recording it as well as sharing it just audio. But I want to really talk about stepping into your goddess effect. How do you really start peeling back these layers of programming and really becoming this powerful, unstoppable fucking woman in your life? And I've been going through my own kind of epiphanies in this journey along the way. And this is what I always say, right? Those of you that listen to me, I'm always talking about this is a process. There is no one to change but self. This whole game is just you versus you. And it's really just undoing programming that has been programmed in your mind since childhood. And it comes from everywhere. It comes from our primary caretakers. It comes from society. It comes from whatever you watch on TV dominantly, the kind of music you listen to, whoever you're around, whoever you've been around in your past. We get bombarded all the time with magazines and the fucking internet and, TV and just, oh my gosh, everywhere. Social media of, people spreading their opinion and their own beliefs onto us. And repetition of that is what programs your mind. So as you're going through this process, this is why it's fucking beautiful, because you're just evolving and you're really peeling back these layers, which is like peeling layers of an onion. It isn't about, I want to manifest the specific person back and that's it. Well, you're going to become a new person, a new version of you dominantly in order to break a cycle that was unfavorable for you. This is why everything is about you and no one else outside of you, because they're only reflecting to you all that programming in your mind. So one of the things I want to focus on specifically in this podcast episode is, again, about how do you recognize some of your own programming that's really having you dim your light as your goddess self, that's not allowing you to embody this, oh my God, beautiful, magnetic, sophisticated, elegant, powerful, unstoppable fucking woman that you are. And I'm always working on myself in the sense of, to me, working on myself is reprogramming. It's healing, it's reprogramming, it's allowing me as a conscious manifester to be aware of what's going on in my mind. And it's really interesting because as you're evolving, as you're going through this process, it is never linear, or I don't even know if that's the right word, right? It's never like a straight line. It is, like this and then this, and it's up and down and sideways, and it's just a beautiful experience. It's kind of messy, but messy in a good way, because there's 70,000 thoughts that go through your mind every day. So we're not going to be able to say, oh, I have this one thought that says I'm not worthy, so I'm just going to affirm I am worthy as general and nothing else, and that's going to change everything. Now, it'll change a lot, but there will be other thoughts. There will be other pre-programming or other stories, limiting beliefs that you will become aware of over time, because this is how intricate our beautiful minds are. So one of the things that I have personally been recognizing in myself is just how deep rooted some of this programming is. Now, those of you that know, and for new viewers, you may not know this about me, I grew up in foster care from the ages of 12 to 18. I am, a product of a divorced family. My mother and father divorced when I was 3. My father was a raging, violent alcoholic who was pretty absent from my life. He definitely was not consistent. I've never had a good relationship with my mother at all, and I have no siblings. So I really have, some abandonment issues and not feeling like I matter and not really feeling worthy and that I deserve love, starting from my childhood. And it's not to bash my parents, they, to each their own, they had their own drama and dysfunctional upbringings, and then, carried it through in their own adult lives, obviously, and it manifested in how they parented me. So with that, there also, though, was programming and conditioning with society. And this happens to all of us, and we're not even aware of it sometimes, just how prevalent it might be in us. So as I've been going through this beautiful journey of overcoming and really identifying my own self-concept when it came to my love life, because that's been my biggest, hurdle, you would say, to overcome in regards to start manifesting favorable outcomes. I don't have a problem with attracting and being attracted or being attractive to any man that I've desired. That's never been an issue for me. I get men who, really want something real with me. But then when my insecurities kick in internally, if I develop feelings for them and it's been going well for a minute, then I start to get very overwhelmed because I wasn't used to how do I receive this beautiful love that I wanted, because I wasn't used to receiving it from childhood. So even though we want things, if we don't know how to receive it, we will sabotage it. We will create a story that's going to make sure we manifest the opposite of what we actually want. And that's been my own personal pattern and journey, which is why I'm so fucking passionate about my enlightenment, my understanding, and the power of self-concept work, especially when it comes to reprogramming the abandonment wounds from childhood, the not good enough. Because then we grow up. We don't know we have this programmed in us, and we grow up and we start having these relationships. And then because of our inner dominant beliefs, these people have to change versions of themselves. The ones that come in on point, the way that we desire, once our old story's triggered, and that becomes more dominant and you're not aware of it, then you will see that you manifest unfavorable outcomes. I mean, these men in my life would just change like that, It felt like overnight where they showed up so amazing for months and months and months. And then I just created the complete opposite. And, I used to be like, what is this? What the fuck is it, right? Well, now I know. Thank goodness, because it's how powerful we are. So I'm not going to dive in too deep about that today, but I wanted to point to you guys when it comes to being a goddess and really owning your power as a conscious creator, as a beautiful, powerful fucking woman, because we really are, and understanding how this may affect you as well. So as a conscious creator, we're becoming aware of our thoughts, right? We're becoming more and more aware of our programming and where our brain focus on certain areas. And we're catching that thinking. And if it's not favorable, we know how to replace it with a favorable story. So then ultimately we will end up manifesting what it is that we desire. So one of the things is, as you're going through this process, you will learn things about yourself with this programming that has penetrated your mind that you're not even aware of. And those of you that know me very well, I have said many times, especially on YouTube, is this is such a beautiful process. This whole journey is only you versus you. It's never about anyone else. Everyone else is just mirrors, mirroring back to us our inner story. And it's just a process of transformation, because it is like peeling layers of an onion off, because we will become aware and conscious of certain programming, like, those light bulb moments, those epiphanies where we're like, oh, yes, okay, now I'm aware of this. Wow, this is really cool. So now I can focus on the opposite of that and create what I actually want to experience. And it will happen like that. You'll get epiphanies and clarity and understandings of different perspectives that you have held that maybe you weren't aware of before. And that's really beautiful because that's telling you how you keep growing and evolving. It doesn't happen like once. You don't just say, oh, I'm going to affirm this one statement and then every programming I had in my subconscious mind will just be completely erased and replaced with this one statement. It doesn't work exactly like that. But this is why you're not trying to erase anything. You're just doing the best you can every day of redirecting your mind and retraining it to focus on the new story and your self-concept in relationship to that story. Because as you keep evolving and growing, you will have aha moments and epiphanies that will just take you to the next level. So to me, that's what being a goddess is. That's what's tapping into your inner goddess is all about, is going through that transformational process and blossoming into this magnificent, powerful, unstoppable, magnetic fucking woman. And you own her and you don't dim your light for people around you. So for me personally, and I wanted to really share this because it was such a powerful epiphany for myself. About, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, I started recognizing how I have some old limiting beliefs programmed in me from society that I have manifested over and over of situations where I was not good enough, meaning I had to dim my light, something would be wrong with me, to be super critiqued or told I was too much. And I kept manifesting these things over and over. And it was interesting because that was about the start of it when I started realizing how this programming was, being shamed in a lot of even work experiences for being attractive and really being told that I needed to kind of basically dress frumpy and masculine because other women were being threatened in the office, and then they would say things and then supervisors would come and tell me, you know, you shouldn't dress like this and that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm wearing a skirt below my knees with heels and a work shirt blouse. But I'm like, okay. So, you know, just little things like that. I mean, obviously I manifested these situations over and over, but I wasn't aware of this programming. So that was kind of the first start of me peeling back this layer of programming that I had. And maybe 2 or 3 months ago, I'm really not sure when it started. Well, then I started owning more and more of I'm just going to be me 100%. Like, this is my business. I'm going to wear what feels good on me. I love to be sexy. That's just part of my personality. I always have been. And I really found myself dimming that part of me because in the back of my mind, I had all this conditioning from experiences that I manifested telling me I'm wrong to do that, as well as things growing up in my generation. I'm in my 40s. So when I was growing up, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there was a very strong message in the work field that women, should not be sexy, that if you want to be taken seriously, you need to show up very masculine and very this and very that and not embrace just being a beautiful woman. So there's a lot of things, it gets deeper than that, but this is just kind of like an idea, generalization of kind of some of the programming that I had been brainwashed growing up and wasn't really aware of. And then I kept manifesting experiences that supported that belief, okay? So a couple months ago, I started having that epiphany. So then this hit me today, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to talk about this. And it was really interesting because I became aware of this today. So one of the things that I became aware of today is also being on social media for years and years and years and just scrolling through different content, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I mean, it really doesn't matter, right? Just all the social media that we're exposed to. There's been this reoccurring theme a lot where dating coaches or people have this belief that they teach people that men don't care about women's accomplishments. Now, this is not me bashing men. I fucking love men, okay? I'm so happy we're on the planet with them. So this is not, a hate speech or anything ridiculous like that, but I'm just giving you the context. So there has been a lot of people, men saying, we don't care about your accomplishments. When you're dating, nobody cares that you have a degree or you've done this or you've done that. And it was funny because something hit me today. This is what I'm saying about the clarity and the epiphanies and the aha moments and just peeling these layers of onions of your brain back. Is it just hit me today out of nowhere where it was like, this is part of my programming. And I kept manifesting that message in, because some of you listening may say, well, I've never come across that, which means you probably don't have that belief in your mind, because we do, remember, everyone's mirrors of us. We're going to bring into our reality whatever's in our consciousness. So, but for me, it was so powerful because I had actually manifested an experience with a man that I was romantically involved with where we got into an argument and he belittled and tried to put me down for my accomplishments. And so all of this was kind of coming into play, right? Like this epiphany that I had today, it took me back to that memory and it clicked for me. Obviously, I manifested that in. And it was so eye-opening for me because I was like, well, first and foremost, we're going to change that programming, right? Because as a goddess, we are proud of who we choose to be. I didn't get a master's degree. I didn't open my own private practice as a licensed mental health therapist. I didn't move into the coaching world and create my online business for a man I'm dating, their approval or anyone else's approval. I did it for me. I dress for myself. See, a lot of people don't understand. We're not dressing for men. We're not really dressing for other people. We're dressing for what makes us feel good, our style, what makes us feel just like I look good today, right? I'm confident today. I feel amazing about myself today. I go to the gym and I weight train and heavy weight train and get my body to push its limits with strength because it makes me feel good. I don't do it to get attention from men or other people. I do it for me. So all these things are being, what I recognize for me is that I had this programming that was saying that I should not be doing this or sharing information with someone I'm dating, that I have to hold myself back. And I manifested that version of me a lot in relationships where I would be quiet about my accomplishments. I would downplay them without even really recognizing it, because I had a belief from this shitty programming that I had picked up over the course of my life that was constantly reinforced and manifested into my experience that says you can't be proud of who you are as a woman and just be excited to show up, and that any man you manifest or come across, that you need to dim yourself for them to love you, value you, and accept you. And what's really even more funny is when I look even deeper into this of my past manifestations with men. Now, listen, those of you that know, I've manifested multiple specific persons back. I've manifested them in coming in shitty, and I manifested them in giving me everything that I want. But in the interim, before they would come back and give me everything that I wanted, if they were dating other women, those women did not have as much accomplishments as me. Now, this is not putting down women who don't have as much accomplishments as me. It's a point that I am the fucking creator of my reality. And it's a point that I kept manifesting that experience over and over, and I was not aware of the full context of the programming that was creating that story and narrative in my life to continuously manifest. So I got real fucking excited today when I had this epiphany and this aha moment for myself, because I'm like, oh, fuck that shit, right? No, I am going to start affirming that any man that comes into my life, SP, new person, I don't give a shit, that they are excited about a woman like me, that they love to hear about my dreams, my goals, because this is who we are as a person, right? as a woman, we are not just a creator or a businesswoman or a CEO or a fucking employee at this job or whatever our profession is. We're not just a mother, right? We're not just a sister or a friend or whatever. We are so multifaceted, and we're taking ownership because we used to not have fucking ownership of our own lives. You know, a lot of people don't talk about this, but we didn't have fucking rights in the US for a very long time, where we could actually fucking work and create a business and think for ourselves and not have to be financially dependent on anyone. So I am celebrating, as a fucking woman and a man, be the best version of you. Like, and take notice of what it means to be a goddess. To be a goddess to me is stepping into, God, your fucking power of you being the best version of you, that how fucking magnificent you are, that you deserve to be loved. You deserve to accept you. You deserve to wake up and like the fucking shape of your fucking body. You deserve to, you know what I mean? Like, drive the fucking car that you want. You deserve to fucking, every time you look at your bank account, you're fucking excited by how much money is in there because you've made yourself feel secure. You deserve to have people in your life that are excited by you, that support you, that, you know, if you're dating, that this man or woman, whoever you date, that they are like, wow, man, this girl is amazing. I love to see someone just take life by the fucking balls, basically, and do whatever the fuck they want. Like, that makes me excited. And it was so funny because, you know, the men that I typically date have power, right? I've had them all different forms of power. Like, before, it was their job, the authority they had. They were in a position of power. Then I manifested a different version of power where it was, you know, their money. Their money made them very powerful. But it was funny because, see, we manifest who we are in a lot of ways. And so these men would be very insightful to me, that I was looking for the same qualities that I wanted, but I wasn't accepting of them. I felt I had to kind of withhold them when it came to romantic relationships. And even with my current SP, it's played out, you know? And so it's very eye-opening. And I want you to get excited when you recognize some of these old beliefs that are keeping a narrative going and a fucking reality that you're manifesting that isn't what you want. Because once you become aware of it, you're like, oh my God, now I can change this. Yes. And so I am really excited today because it just opened up something in me where I was like, aha. Wow. So, and do you see like the process? So I've been affirming my self-concept about being a goddess, about, you know, being magnetic, all these beautiful things that I say of being powerful and unstoppable and all of this. And so by choosing that version of me, have been becoming aware more and more of stories and narratives in my subconscious that are not allowing me to create the full reality of me being a full goddess. And this is what happens, people, when you're fucking being a conscious creator. When you're affirming your self-concept of this beautiful, powerful, fucking magnetic goddess who can manifest anything and everything she wants, and she's adored and loved and cherished and chosen and all this beautiful stuff that we affirm, you evolve into her. And the more you reinforce this powerful self-concept, the more you become her. The more you become her, yes, it manifests in your 3D, but you become aware of new information that has been holding you back or blocking you, this opposing story that's not allowing you to have the full experience. And so I want you to start getting excited by this stuff because, so when I had this epiphany this morning, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I felt like this lightning inside of me, like this exhilaration, right? Because I was like, oh my God, I just busted through another layer of fucking shitty programming, right? And so I started affirming that no, any man that I'm involved with, and women too, because, you know, I love to be around, I'm a girl's girl. Like, I always love to have a good group of girlfriends. Obviously, I work a lot with women. I love to elevate and support and uplift women because I didn't have anyone doing it for me. So it's like, I don't know. I just want women to fucking win and succeed. And I want us to get rid of this shitty fucking self-concept and identity that's keeping us from being the version we really want to be, right? And that's why I do what I do, right? So I am now affirming, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. One of my affirmations now that I'm aware of it is that any man I'm involved with is so proud of me. And I've manifested that. I have manifested this SP and other SPs to really say, I'm so proud of you. You're fucking amazing. I can't believe you've done this, and really had been supportive. But then I would also, again, because we create a reality, manifest the dominant story. Saying some nasty things to me and trying to dim my light and take away my value and accomplishments because I was doing that to myself. I had that belief still. So now the belief is being reprogrammed. Now that I'm aware of it, I actually found it, pinpointed that one particular belief. And it's not even, this is what I'm saying, like peeling the layers of onions back, right? There's so many thoughts that can be wrapped in a story, and then they manifest in so many different ways. This is why the magic answer is not just picking 3 affirmations and affirming that constantly. It's just understanding that you just choose a fucking thought that feels best for you in that moment, is who you want to be and what you want to manifest, and you persist in that, and you can change them around as long as they all lead you to the end result of having what you want. So to keep in context with today's podcast, that end result is being a fucking goddess, okay? She is fucking stepping in her power. She is not making excuses for how amazing and confident and magnificent she is. And anyone in her reality loves her and supports her and is excited to see her win and has her fucking back. And any man or woman she dates, whatever romantic partner she has, they fucking love that about her. They love that about her so much that they're so proud to have an amazing woman like you on their fucking arm, right? That they value and appreciate and respect someone who has achieved whatever you have achieved. I don't give a fuck what it is. It doesn't matter. And you decide for yourself, where have you been dimming your light, right? Where have you not been accepting you? Where have you been judging yourself? Because that's really what programming is. And limiting beliefs are judgments. They're judgments against yourself. They always come back to you. It's something's wrong with me. Something's not good enough with me. And the story is going to hold you back from being the best version of you, of learning how to unconditionally love you and accept how amazing you are, because we all are fucking amazing. We're just peeling back the layers that say otherwise. That's all we're doing. So I am so fucking excited now, because now, I am like, something cracked open in me, and I've tapped more into my goddess self, right? Because I am unstoppable and I am fucking magnetic and I am achieving a lot in my life, and I have still more to do. My vision is to help millions all over the world, is to connect with whoever I need to connect with, to build them up, to help them understand their true power so that they become their best goddess self. So I want you to think about this. I want you to kind of look at, are you affirming your self-concept? Are you affirming how powerful you are? Are you affirming how amazing you are? Where do you feel like you hold back in your life? Where do you feel like, you need to just kind of dim yourself? Because listen, a lot of these fucking dating coaches, especially on TikTok, if you're on TikTok a lot, be careful, because even just scrolling through quickly, your brain is going to pick up on certain things, and you can program your mind through repetition. That's how we program our mind. And, it's really interesting as you go through this process of becoming your goddess self, because you really do step into your true power. See, once I became aware of this, now I'm electrified in a whole new way. And I've kind of released and freed myself from that bullshit story that was limiting me, right? That was keeping me manifesting experiences that weren't favorable. Because why on earth would we want to manifest a reality where people we care about romantically don't have our backs at the end of the day? Like, that's ridiculous. Nobody wants that, right? But do you see how we create this shit? If we have a story that is dominant, that says that in some way, then we have to manifest that fucking experience, because that is what law of assumption is. What you assume and believe and focus your thoughts on is what manifests. People have to mirror that back to you, even if they don't want to, because I know the beautiful versions of people. I've had them in my life. And then for my SP to, turn around and say those things to me and really diminish me, it hurt me at first, because I was like, oh my God, how could he say that to me, right? But then as I've been going through this process, I'm like, I knew it was me, because I knew there was things he said to me that were my own insecurities that I'd never expressed to him ever. So how the fuck could he know? You see what I'm saying? So I knew, I was like, wow, he really want to talk about everyone as you pushed out. I just had shit reflected back to me on a deep fucking level. So it was a very interesting process, but very eye-opening for me as a conscious creator, and even understanding everyone as you pushed out even more than I do understand it. And I really fucking get it. So this is where, again, I really want you to understand that this is what this whole game is about. See, now that I'm aware, and now I have this conscious affirmation of what I would rather experience, because how fun would that be to be involved and have my SP or anybody else in my life really show up and have my back and really celebrate and support how amazing I am. Think about that for yourself, because you're fucking amazing. How freeing is it going to feel for you to release some of this old baggage that says otherwise and allow you to fully be you and love everything about you as best as you can in that moment? And that's what this game is about. And it just like stacks on top of each other the more you just keep going within and reflecting and reprogramming your own mind to be the version of you that you desire. Like, even we're not going to get it all at once. Nobody can. That's okay. It's not a fucking race. Listen, when we're dead, right? I don't know where we transition energetically wise and, where we go, but in this human experience, you're just going to be the best version of you can every day. And some days will be better than others, but that's okay. You're grieving, you're going to go through emotions because you're going to grieve that old man, like Neville talks about. As we're releasing and evolving, that old man, that old self-concept, that old identity that doesn't fully love herself, that isn't embracing her true goddess self, is going to, pull you back. It's going to allow you to grieve it before it fully releases it sometimes. And that's okay. And it's just being okay with that process and not affirming and assuming you're doing something wrong. One of the beautiful things, again, is now I can create even more of a magnificent life for myself. And I'm just really fucking excited about this. I'm really excited to consciously affirm this and see what I create, see how it unfolds in my reality, right? Also, one of the things is when you start becoming aware more and more of this and you're peeling back this old programming, you change internally. And obviously when we change internally, your 3D has to reflect that back to you. But so this is why the affirming and reprogramming is really beneficial and super important, because you're going to manifest whatever you want. But this is deeper than that, right? At least people that come to me, they understand that this is about claiming who the fuck you are as a goddess, changing the programming so that you continue to evolve and become more and more limitless, that you continue to become this version of you that is more than what you could even imagine, because we can only imagine from where we are. So as you're affirming and creating a new self-concept and you're changing the story, you will at different points have a better understanding and clarity about information that you had no idea before. You will see a new possibility, a new reality, something even different that you weren't aware of before because of the old story. You were in that reality and now you've shifted in a new reality. So the information, the viewpoints will be different. So this is why I do this, because I just keep changing and evolving. And then all the amazing people that I work with, to see the breakthroughs they have, the epiphanies, the aha moments, and just create this magnificent fucking goddess worthy life, because we only got one. So we got to stop with the bullshit. We have to stop allowing old programming to control us and keep us stuck in realities that are not serving us in our best interest, and change that story. And this is why I am really excited that I created a 4-week live coaching experience called the Goddess Glow Up, where 4 weeks you're going to sit with me on Zoom for about an hour and a half, 2 hours each week in a group. And we're going to talk about these things, right? I created a workbook for every week for you to have written exercises to do as well. But every week, we're going to talk about being a goddess. We're going to focus on changing your self-concept and really creating that goddess self-concept. We're going to focus, the second week is going to be about being a goddess in love. What does that look like? Who the fuck are you when it comes to your relationships? And then we're going to look at being a goddess when it comes to money. Remember, we're trying to create a goddess-worthy life. She has everything. And if she doesn't have what she wants, she understands how to fucking create it, how to move herself into the reality where it comes to her like this, okay? And we're going to talk about money and support you. A lot of people ask me, Kim, help me with money, help me with success. I'll do that. Listen, that's been easy for me. That's a very natural assumption that I have for myself. So I've reverse engineered my own mind into what are my thoughts? What are my beliefs? How has it been that I've been able to always succeed financially and, academically and career-wise into creating myself, right? That's just been something very easy for me. So I can share that with you. I can really push you to become this goddess magnetic version when it comes to money. And then the final and fourth week, we're going to really look at how do you step in that power, and are you creating purpose in your life? Whether you're working for a company or you want to start one on your own, it doesn't matter. Are you excited about what you do every day at work? Is this your purpose? Do you feel rewarded? Are you being fulfilled in your life? And if not, I'm going to teach you how to start claiming that. How do you get the clarity? If you don't know what the fuck you want to do, but you know it's not what you want to do right now, I'm going to support you in you becoming that version that knows what the fuck she wants to do. If you have an idea of what you want to do, we're going to challenge you to push you out of that old self-concept and move you into the goddess version of you to help you understand, okay, let's claim this. Why aren't you? And I'm going to support you in that process. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, the link is in the show notes. It starts August 10th. It will be live at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is a Tuesday, every Tuesday for 4 weeks. I will record them. So if you're not able to show up live, you will have access to the replays to rewatch it. I'm really fucking excited about this because I am becoming more of a goddess myself. As you all see, my own personal level up in my business, and I have so much more happening behind the scenes that no one's even aware of. You will see as it's presented, and I want to support you all in becoming your goddess self because she's fucking unstoppable. She is creating a limitless life, and she's just a very powerful fucking woman. And I want you to own her and become her and claim her. So if you have questions, feel free to email me. Hannah will get back to you. That is in the show notes as well. But most of, if not all, the information is detailed and put on the link for the Goddess Glow Up. So I love you all. I am so excited to be back doing this podcast and just supporting you becoming your goddess fucking self. So thank you for tuning into the Goddess Effect, and I will see you soon.